Well, I'm happy to see you again after this lunch break. I hope you enjoyed the lunch. It has been prepared by people here, Raj and others, with great love and affection. And I noticed that when you prepare food with love, it tastes little better. And if you're angry and cook food, it tastes different. I don't know if you ever noticed that. Because when love changes everything, including food, which is a very material thing, but it does make a difference. So I was very happy. I enjoyed my lunch, and I am sure you did too. So I'd like to thank David, Raj, and all the organizers who have done this, prepared lunch for us, and David has opened his house for this meeting. Let's give him applause and thank him. I was talking to you earlier in the morning about the way to discover our own self. Who are we? We are not the body, obviously. This is too short-lived. Nor are we our sense perceptions, which also die out. Nor are we our mind, which also has a length of time by which the same mind continues. This body's average life in this age is about 100 years or maybe a little less. It was even less earlier. Longevity has grown slowly. In the next 20-30 years, it will be 100, 110 average. It's a very short period in terms of cosmic time, which we say is billions of years. It's a very short time. The inner body, which we call the astral self, which holds our sense perceptions, has a much longer life, average from 1,000 to 3,000 years of physical time. And when you fully regain consciousness of that body through meditation, through withdrawal of attention within yourself, through properly guided methods which are possible, you will be able to recall many of the things that happened to you. You will be able to recall several births that you have had earlier. Here, some people go through past life regressions and they just get some visions, or some are just made up stories also. But there you can see your own thing, like it's your own memory of what happened. And then you discover that you have been there for thousands of years, not for 100 years. When you go to the causal plane and you discover that your mind is the one that is creating these outer bodies, the mind has a much longer life, approximately 3 million years of physical time. That means for millions of years, we hold the same mind. Now it's important to know this because what we call the law of karma, action and reaction, that if you do good things, you are rewarded for that. If you do bad things, you are punished for that. That's what the law is governing our life and destiny here. You will notice that that is built on our mind. So it goes on for millions of years. The same mind carries all the impressions through several forms of life and through several lifetimes. It's very interesting to go there and find out your own background, how much you have been carrying, how much baggage you have collected, and how heavy that stuff is that you are carrying, which you can't see here. But going within, you can see that. So it's very revealing to go. Also, at the causal level, at the level of the mind, you're able to see why you picked up this destiny. Otherwise, it looks very silly that if you had a choice, why would you pick up this kind of a life? You could have picked up a much better one. And you did pick up much better ones. And you had a good time, but that was not here. This is not a place for a good time. It's only for a short time good time. And then a long time bad time. Actually, it's not short and long, both are equal. Looks different. Because when good time comes, it passes very quickly. When bad time comes, it slows down. And therefore, it looks like the bad times are longer than the good times. But this is a mixed life. Human life is a mixed life. It has ups and downs. And because of the ups and downs, we come here. Otherwise, there are heavens created. You have all the time good times. And there are hells created where you are punished all the time for what you have been doing in many past lives. Our accumulation of karma or accumulation of past actions, accumulation of past intentions which create karma are so huge that any type of life can be created. A question can arise, does the soul have any karma or is it only of the mind? The truth is, soul has no karma. Never had, never will. Karma is only a mental experience. Karma is entirely, so long as we cover ourselves with the mind, we go through the karma of the mind thinking it's our karma. And therefore we go through the high and low of karma. Otherwise, there is no karma once you go above the mind. And you will notice that the karma is merely something that operates here. But it's very necessary for karma to operate here so that we can have different forms of life. You cannot have a human life if there is no karma. You cannot have any life if you don't have karma. This principle of manifesting in different forms is based upon the law of karma. And the law of karma says, whatever your intention or action following intention is, you will be rewarded if it is good, punished if it is bad. And who decides if it is good or bad? You decide. How do you decide? Part of your own mind, a little pocket of your mind which we call conscience. Not consciousness, but conscience. Conscience sits in us and says, I shouldn't be doing this, but let me do it anyway. It's more pleasurable. The bad things appear to be more pleasurable. And therefore we do a lot of these things knowing. And then we carry guilt. Then we say we feel guilt for it. That's what the basis of bad karma is. The good karma is, what a nice thing I did today. I'm so happy about it. You get rewarded. So the actions are not by themselves good or bad. We decide these from this conscience, which is governed again by environment through which you go through, plus your own inherited tendencies from the past lives, plus the local societies. They tell you wherever you are living, the society determines the moral code for you, and you grow up from childhood following that code. If you are born in a particular religion, you follow those codes of the religion, assuming them to be the truth. And if you are not, if you are an atheist, even then you follow what society says is good or bad. If you still don't know, laws are enacted by governments and society. They lay down, this is good, this is bad. All these factors create morality for you. And you live in a moral world, and the morality determines what kind of life you will have. What you have done in the past comes up as a new life. Not everything comes up, because you have done too many things. If even intention means karma, not only action, if you intend to do something wrong and have not actually done it, you have created a bad karma. Karma is in the mind. If your mind has done something wrong, it's already created a bad karma. If your mind is thinking of good things, you have created a good karma. So it's not necessary for action to follow the intention. You still create karma without action following. If you carry out into action, it only enhances the degree of that karma. But karma is created even without action. So imagine how much karma we create. Every day we think of so many good and bad things. We are accumulating so much karma. All that karma cannot be fitted into one lifetime, no matter how well packed it is. Therefore, only some pieces are picked up and one life is made up. The rest goes into a reserve. So what we bring from the past and use it as destiny, or pralabdha as we call it, pralabdha, which means destiny brought from past lives, that is not in our control. We don't have any volition in that. We don't make any determination of that. It includes the place where you will be born, the parents you will have, the siblings you will have, the accidents you will have, the sudden illnesses you will have, the so-called soulmates you will meet. All that is predetermined by your destiny which you brought from past lives. Then there are some gaps between these, gaps in which your mind works and where choices are presented to you. Should I do it or not do it? It's not all the life, the entire life. Only 80% of the life is already fixed. You just go through it routinely. Only in these little gaps you are given options to decide. That is where you create new karma. And we call it Karman karma as against prarabdha or destiny. This is now new action karma. So, what cannot be accommodated in one lifetime goes into a reserve, also in our mind. We carry a huge reserve which we call Sinchit karma or reserve karma. Supposing you lead a karma free life, which you can do by not taking any decision, going with the flow. I remember I came to this country, the most frequently used expression was, go with the flow. I don't think too many people use that now, but they still use, go with the flow. If you can go with the flow, how do you create karma? Because you just go with what the circumstances are, whatever points out, do this, go, keep on doing, don't challenge anything. You don't create any new karma, don't take any deliberate decision on anything. Even then there is plenty in your reserve karma to create new lives for you. So it's a very, it's a long-term internment, long-term prison we are in. And we just keep on moving from one cell to another. That's the kind of life we are having here. This law of karma that operates at the mental level stays in the mental level till we escape from it. And therefore, we can't get over the karma unless we get above it. People have gone to very high enlightened states and still had to come back all the way because of karma. The classic example is given in the life of Lord Krishna and his childhood friend whose name was Udo. And Krishna, when he was still a child, he was still sent out to take care of the cows. He was a cowherd and Udo was also a cowherd. They used to take care of the cows. One day, Krishna says to Udo, and they sing a song in the place where Krishna was born. I went there, everybody sing that song, says, Are Udo karman ki gat nyari se, which means, Udo, the law of karma is very strange. It's unbelievable what it is. And then he explains to Udo, you see this little ant crawling here? Yes, that ant that you see crawling here has once been Brahma, the creator of this universe. Another time it has been Indra, one of the largest heavens, and he governed that heaven. By good karma, he got to such high enlightened positions. And now because of his bad karma, he's an ant. The problem is there is no atonement. You do good karma, you rewarded. Bad karma, punished. You do more good karma to overcome the bad karma. No, you get rewarded more. It does not atone for it. That's the trick in this law of karma. That you could have in one lifetime done things which entitle you to heaven for a month and hell for a month. Immediately after that. So this is a very strong binding prison. I think it's one of the biggest prisons one can imagine, where you can't get out at all by doing good or doing bad. Both keep you here. And that is where we are really trapped, and that is why if we want to get out of it, we have to go beyond the mind and beyond karma itself. When we first came, we picked up one life. We had to pick up. And where did we pick up? Where are these lives? They say these are in a place called the Akashic Records in Trikuti. In the causal stage, there is a sky holding several destinies. It is like a stack of DVDs, stack of lives already programmed. You'll be born here, you'll die here, these are the events that will happen. And we scanned all that and we said, that looks like a good one. And we picked up one. Now you cannot pick up one without it carrying with it past lives to create that one. You might have come only for one life, but that one life is based upon karma of a past life, and you have not had any past life. Therefore, you notionally pick up a life which has a past life, and the past life has a past life. So the infinite number of past lives you pick up by picking up one life, and one life has consequences in the next life, so you pick up future lives also. So it's a very strange drama to pick up one lifetime and get trapped into infinite lifetimes, past and future. Why do we sometimes pick up a life that has got so much suffering in it? Because when we scan and see that lifetime, we see what the future holds. The past has gone. We'll only think it's our memory. We'll think, yes, it is our memory that created. We created this, which we didn't. But to sustain the first life we pick up, we have to pick up all the past lives. And then the future life, we see after so many lives, we will be able to go back home to our true home worthwhile. Otherwise, we would never pick up the lives we have. We pick up the lives because at the end of the tunnel we see the light. That after so many lifetimes, when we are fed up, we'll go back. It's all written there. It's predetermined. So we pick up lives based upon considerations other than what will happen in one life. But once we are here for one life, we are now experiencing real past lives. Because from here onwards, we are creating real past lives. When we go back beyond the mind to our true home, to Sachkhand, all of them disappear. They were only a show. There's only like a movie that we went to see. They all become a movie and nothing is real. While we are here, we are creating real experiences by picking up our own destiny. When somebody says, do you make your own destiny? What answer will you give? Answer is yes. You picked up your destiny. Do you make your destiny every day? No, because it's pre-written. Do you, when you decide something, you say, I want to decide to go there or not to go there. Nobody can tell me. Nobody knows. I am making a decision for the first time. Okay, I'll go left today. I could have gone right, but I am going left. I am defying the law which says things are predetermined. Okay. Tendency was, people were saying, you will go right. I am breaking all the rules. I am going left. Then one goes up in meditation and finds out it says, you will say, people are saying, go right, and you will decide to go left. The entire process by which you make a decision is pre-written. But because the process is an experience of decision making, you think you are making it now. Everything is pre-written. It is so well pre-written that when you are in this life, in this physical life, you say, who can tell me my future, what I'll do? Nobody can tell this future. That some people can. I had that experience, which I have sometimes shared. You might have heard that experience of mine with a group of people they call Bhatras in India. And they are specially trained to read people's minds and read people's minds of 5 minutes ahead. So I had met a man, and at least 3 people have since then confirmed that they also had the same experiences, one in London itself, and some people in other places. That a man comes to you and he says, like I had that experience, a man comes and gives me a piece of paper, says, give me pen and paper. He scribbles something on it, looks into my eyes and starts scribbling something on his paper. I don't know what he's writing. Then he folds the paper several times and puts it into my hand. Then he says, take out another paper. So I take out another paper. He says, write a number between 1 and 10. Now my thought is, he is expecting me to write 5. As kids, we used to do that. That we could guess what you're going to write, because the tendency is to write the middle number. If you're asked to write 1 or 5, 1 or 10, you write 5. Between 1 and 5 means 1 and 10 means 5. I said, this guy is expecting me to write 5. I'm not going to write 5. So I wrote 3. Then he says to me, write the name of a flower. And I said, he's expecting me to write the name of a rose, most common flower. I am going to write the name of a flower he may never have heard of. Because this happened in a different state than where I belong. It happened in Uttar Pradesh, in Lucknow, where I had come out from an interview for the Navy. And I said, I'll write the name of a flower this guy may not have heard of. So I wrote a flower, chameli, Chameli. I wrote in English, capital letters. And I said, what else? He said, write your date of birth. I wrote 1926. He said, that's your year of birth. I said, date of birth. So normally we write the date first and then the year. So I wrote the date after the year. Then he says, open the paper I gave you. Earlier, before all this happened. Open the page. It says 3 Chameli and 1926 and then the date. Exactly in the order which I wrote. And he wrote it before I did. I was stunned. I was not stunned that he could read my mind. How could he read my mind before anything happened? I had not even thought of these things. How could a person, any other person, know what I am deciding in my own head? And he could write the same things beforehand. And while I was still in a state of shock at how he could do that, he said, shall I tell you more? I said, go ahead. I am already in a state of shock at how you know all this. He said, let me tell you. When I asked you to write a number between 1 and 10, you said he is expecting me to write 5. I am going to call off his bluff and I'll write 3. He told me not only what I wrote, he told me how it decided. When I asked you to write the name of a flower, you said he doesn't know, he belongs to another place, and I'll write the name of a flower that he hasn't even heard of, and you wrote Chameli. I was surprised. I said, how can you possibly know? Because I decided after you wrote this. He said, what you decided, the way you decided, the word you decided in your mind, how to take this decision was pre-written. All we have learnt is to see your destiny 5 minutes ahead. I said, how did you learn how to do this? I'd like to learn that too. And then I can tell people beforehand what they will do. It reminded me of a movie in which a guy is born again and again on the same day.
Oh, yeah. Groundhog's Day.
Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
In that, the guy wakes up to the same day. He knows exactly what's going to happen. He knows exactly what the thought process will be. So I was reminded of that with this man's startling experience for me. But then I understood that when we are sitting here thinking we are making a decision, how do we make a decision? We make a decision by a thought process which is governed by our own environmental area where we have been to, as well as our inheritance. Our genes determine and our environment, and at any time when we make a decision, these two are fixed. So actually, if you just see scientifically, we can't decide any other way except the factors of decision making are already fixed at any time. But the fact that somebody can read it and tell you beforehand what you will think and how you will decide, and it's pre-written, it's a very big proof that everything is pre-written no matter what we think about it here. So, since everything is pre-written, it doesn't look like that. It doesn't. In everyday life, we have to make decisions every day. In fact, a colleague of mine at Harvard University, he one day called me and he said that he has been able to figure out that we have no free will. We can't decide anything, it's already decided. And I said, what's the reason for your decision? The reason was theological. Because he said, if we believe in God, and if we believe God is omnipresent, omnipotent, and omniscient, which means knows everything. If God knows everything, won't He know what we are going to decide? If He doesn't, He's not God. And if He does, and He knows in advance, we don't have free will. A very simple conclusion on theological grounds, that if God exists, then and He knows everything, He must know what you're going to decide, no matter how much you argue in your head. He knows that you will argue in your head like this. I said, come to my apartment, we'll talk a little more. So he came to my apartment and I played a little trick on him. I prepared a cup of coffee and a cup of tea and an empty cup and put on a tray for him. When he came, he said, yes, I discovered we have no free will. I said, what would you have, tea, coffee or nothing? I got all three. and since you have no free will, tell me how you are going to decide. He said, what my great sudden knowledge I got has been destroyed by a cup of coffee and tea. I said, it's not that you say you have no free will. The experience of free will you cannot deny. Every day challenges come in front of us, presenting different options. We have to decide. Every time we decide, it's experience of free will. Therefore, you can't say free will doesn't exist. All you can say is, what looks like free will, what is the experience, actual experience of free will, is somehow, somewhere else predetermined. But you can't say that you are not experiencing free will. If we did not experience free will, we could not be seekers. We could not even find spirituality. It's when I said in the morning, if you seek, you will find. How can you seek if you have no free will? Seeking is an act of free will. Therefore, the experience of free will is real. But the fact that it is predetermined is written somewhere else, where the whole show was written up. Now, supposing you have a predetermined fate here, destiny. It brings some powerful bad karma in your life. You have to go through a very painful experience. And you have a master, a guru, who has divine powers. And you go to the guru and says, Master, I know I'm going through this exceptionally painful situation. Can you help me? He says, all right, I'll use my divine powers and change it. And the painful situation changes. You thank you for the divine intervention. So divine intervention has taken place here. That means he has cancelled out what was your destiny. And therefore he has actually changed the script of what you were supposed to do. And you go to the astral plane and there you find pre-recorded that your karma will be like this. A guru will come and put a divine intervention and he'll change it. It's predetermined there. What was the change here was predetermined there. What about a guru comes and says, okay, you are already an advanced meditator, you are already going there, and let's change it there. And he alters it altogether there. You say, well, at least that's the total alteration of the destiny. You go one step higher and you find it is so recorded right from the beginning that a guru will come and alter your destiny at the second level. You go to the top and you find everything is pre-written. And that is where all this was operating. And who wrote it? From the very top. The one of whom we all are a part. So we wrote it. Nobody else made our destiny. At every stage of consciousness, that's the beauty of creation in levels of consciousness. That different levels of awareness, levels of consciousness were created. So all these wonderful things could happen. And therefore, at the top we find we are all one and it is our own play that we wrote. Did we do a good job in writing this play or could we have improved it? My master once gave me an opportunity to examine this question. He said, I let you have a glimpse, just one glimpse of how this whole total show operates. And you tell me where you can make improvements. Now, this is a personal experience I'm sharing, but it's worth sharing because I tried my very best and found that the script was perfect. I could not change it. Just because we see so little of it, we are seeing such a small slice of it, we see the total picture, it becomes perfect. It's only imperfect because we don't see the totality. In totality, it's a perfect show setup. And the fact that we are having pain and pleasure, duality here, some people think that's one of the imperfections of this creation, that we should have all good times and no bad times. But when we discovered that the way we experience things here is by pairs of opposites. If we don't have pairs of opposites, we don't experience anything. It's the opposite that gives us experience. If somebody has never experienced pain, he'll never know what pleasure is. If somebody has never experienced pleasure, never know what pain is. If somebody is always in one experience. If, supposing this light is here, this light is falling on us, we know it's light. Why? He switched it on and the light is coming from outside because daytime, at night it will go away. Supposing the light never came and never came less, never became more, was always the same, none of us would ever have seen it. We would not even have known there's such a thing called light. It's the darkness that made light an experience for us. Everything that we are experiencing in this world is based upon pairs of opposites. It's a world of duality. And the duality creates these experiences. Then supposing, what is our true home like? It is non-duality. There is nothing dual there. How can we experience anything there if it is non-duality? Well, it is a pair of opposite of the world of duality we have created. And the world of non-duality becomes an opposite of this one. By coming here, we appreciate our true home. Just by having these experiences, we experience our true home and appreciate it, which we would never be able to do. We wouldn't even know what the difference is. So it's such a wonderful thing that we have come here. Wonderful thing we have come between pain and pleasure, ups and downs, so we can really truly appreciate that where there's no ups and downs. Otherwise you wouldn't be able to appreciate it. If you see totality of creation and totality of consciousness, it's perfect. If you see parts of it, it's imperfect. So it's good to know that when you have inner experiences at higher levels of consciousness, all your questions are answered. All questions we ever had are answered from within yourself. You don't need to ask anybody from outside. And this is the value of meditation and going within. So instead of studying more books, discussing more outside, having more debates, it's better to make a little trip inside and see what's all about. Because no amount of outside discussion can really describe it. And the perfection cannot be seen except by going within. So the answer which all these mystics have given us, go within and you'll find the answer. And to go within, I mentioned, process is simple. No matter what kind of practice you do to go within, you can go within your energy centers, which I talked about in the morning, and experience remarkable experience, like out-of-body experiences, experiences of energies of different kinds flowing. You can see all those by these experiences of different centers, or you can go into higher awareness and get more aware of what's going on and become enlightened and real enlightened. This is giving you new energy, that's giving you new enlightenment. You can go into enlightenment right to the top through the process which we now call meditation. So the starting point always for this journey to our true home is meditation. We must do meditation in order to get some glimpse. Also, when you do meditation, it calms our spirit, and if you make success of it and you have been initiated by a perfect living master, you find the inner master inside you, then life changes completely, because you have a friend with you day and night 24/7. And that's a very unusual experience, because we don't have it outside in the world. Nobody is with us 24/7 all the time, and all the time in a state of love, in the state of being together, in the state of traveling together, companionship together, everything together. That only happens when you have the company of your master in a real form inside you, and that comes through meditation also. Meditation, as I said, is a step of withdrawing your attention and going back here. If we assume that this body is your house, living on the 6th floor, and just feel, imagine you are sitting on the 6th floor behind your eyes, it's a good starting point. Would you like to do starting point now with me? Are you all ready? How many of you are ready for this? Okay, plenty of quota now. Now, this is like an exercise. In this exercise, you have to imagine that this body of yours is your house in which you live. And you are living on the 6th floor, which happens to be behind the eyes, in your head. You will close your eyes and figure out where you are in that room on the 6th floor, and try to center yourself in the middle of that room. You don't have to make a picture of yourself. Don't make a picture that you are seeing yourself there. You be there, That means it's just an awareness that you are there. And if you make a picture, that will mean you are looking at something besides yourself, then you are not there. You are at the point from where you are seeing the picture. A common mistake, I am just telling you beforehand, it's a common mistake we make, that when we say we are behind the eyes, we start looking at a little being of our own self which fits in our head, and we say, there I am sitting inside. That's not where you are sitting. You are sitting where you are looking at that picture from. That's behind that. So you just have a awareness that you are in that chamber and on a hard floor, and spend a few minutes decorating that place. And lay down a rug or a carpet, put on a nice chair to sit on in the center. And if you have any, you notice any windows with some lights on the side, put drapes. Make it a beautiful place, because you are going to do your meditation every day in that chamber. And then sit in the center and just contemplate what's going on here. Don't think of anything outside, only what's happening there. How many of you could do this? Oh, pretty good. You're all ready for meditation. Meditation should start from there and not from outside. What we do is, we sit with our body outside and we think that we are going to meditate on the outside ground, on the outside chair, on the outside cushion, whatever we use. And all the time the attention is on where we are sitting. All the time the attention is on our outside things. That is why we don't draw our attention inside. But if you start from where you just experienced, that is the meditation chamber. It should start from there. When you are already there, and then you will move forward, it will be much easier. You will be able to have inner experiences. If you could just hold your awareness, what you just tried now, for a sufficient time, and don't think of anything else, you will brighten up that place. You will find it's a white place. You will have a lot of experiences, because you have opened up the astral plane right there. It's as simple as that. Therefore, the practice of meditation should be starting from there, and anything else you want to do to control the mind from not thinking, like repetition of mantra, repetition of Simran, should be done there, not outside. You want to hear the sound inside, you sit in the center and hear the sound inside, not outside. It's a very big difference in the speed of attaining something if you start from there. So you just had a little experience of the first step in meditation. If you come and join me in a meditation workshop sometimes, we'll go through all the process further on, so you can get actual experiences of what it is inside you. And you will find everything is inside you. You will also find that the world you are seeing outside is also inside us, and we are seeing it projected outside. You will also find that there are many other worlds to which you belong and which are your worlds, and you can experience them. You will also be able to gradually find your true home to which you belong, which is where we are all one total consciousness, from where the whole show started, and the show is taking place within that consciousness. There is nothing outside of it. All these answers come to you through the simple process of withdrawing yourself continuously, more within yourself, more within yourself. That's the secret. I hope some of you will take advantage of this and find out the truth. The true knowledge comes by this kind of meditation. So thank you very much for joining me. I am glad I was able to spend some time with you. And they have some prasad. You know what is prasad? We say is blessed food. Prasad is blessed food. We get the blessings of a master. And thereby, when we take, it's normally something to eat. I see, what are these called? Cheerios. Cheerios to cheer us up. Now, this is an item of food. It's something to eat. We use this as a prasad, item of eating. We use puffed rice in India or some other thing like that. We use it Because every time we eat, we remember who blessed it. It's just a way of remembering your master. It does not mean that by blessing, the molecular structure of this has changed. It is still the same Cheerios and remain the same Cheerios. What blessing does is to carry this association with this of your master. When you eat it, you think of the master. And that's what the blessing does. And the more you think of the master, the more inner blessings come to you. If you're meditating regularly, you'll find, take just one piece of this and with the thought who gave you, and then meditate, and that association quickly brings you to a different experience inside. So it's very useful. It's useful, you are in trouble in life, something is not going right. Take this, Master, I'm taking your prasad. I hope you are watching. Hope you're taking care. It substitutes a prayer. Taking one of these is a substitute for prayer. So that's why prasad has great significance, because you can use it for all these things. And I know people are using it when they are sick or ill or something. People are using it when they are happy to celebrate. It's just a way of remembering the master. Because we do associate our master with the things that are happening in our life, especially, and good things happen, and especially good things like parking place. There was no parking spot. Suddenly I came and one car pulled out. Thank you, Master. I've seen people do that because it's so difficult to find parking spots sometimes. I remember an Irish guy couldn't find a parking spot, and he prayed. He says, Lord, I pray to you, I have an important meeting to attend and there's no parking spot. If you find one spot for me today, I'll give up drinking whiskey. I'll also go to church regularly every Sunday. As soon as he said that, one guy pulled out. And he said, Lord, I found a spot, don't care now. It's just a story. Just a little story. But anyway, when good things happen, we want to thank the Master, and because we associate the Master with taking care of us, which he does, by the way. It's not just a story, he actually does take care of us. And we can pray to him and ask him. In fact, he is the only real good friend of ours. A friend in need is a friend indeed. When you need something, other people may or may not be able to help, but he can help internally and change circumstances for us. I've seen that happen all the time in my life. So that's why it's good to think of him every moment we can, and that helps our life get better and better. So prasad is something that helps you to think of the Master. Okay, I'd like to, how many of you would like to have this prasad blessed? Oh, okay. I'll try to invoke the blessings of my Master, the great Master, so that this prasad, this also, okay, that this all becomes blessed by great Master's power. I can't tell all my experiences, but I can tell you he just touched these himself with his own hand, and I saw it.